When adjusting to their new lives in Smallville, Lois and Clark make an important decision concerning one of their sons. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Superman and Lois Episode 2, Heritage. So we start out the episode with the Kent family packing up and moving to Smallville. And we hear Lois's voice as they're driving and moving into the farmhouse. I thought this was really good because it really shows that they're committed to being more of a family and getting away from the city life. And the monologue that they do of Lois's voice as they're going through all these different scenes was really fantastic because she talks about memories and emotions and making new memories in Smallville. So I thought that was really good. And then at dinner, Jonathan and Jordan are talking about going to school. You know, they're actually excited about going to a new school, even though they're apprehensive about it because they had to leave, like, all their friends behind. So it's kind of like one of those things where you just move in, so you're like, oh, man, I'm kind of excited, but at the same time, I'm not. And this is where we end up getting Clark and Lois telling Jordan that he won't be going to school with Jonathan because he needs to start learning about his powers and how to control them because he almost injured a few kids at the party in the first episode with his laser beams. So we really kind of get see that, and this is the first time that you can see both brothers look at each other and they're like, "What? We're not going to school together?" And that plays out a little later on too. So they're kind of upset about that, and they both storm away. So I thought this was really good. This was a really good opening sequence for this episode. And then we end up cutting to seeing the armored figure that we now know as Captain Luthor in Moldova, where he's raiding a criminal syndicate looking for more kryptonite so he can take down Superman before Superman does to this world what he did to his. So we keep getting these hints about Luthor's origin story coming up. So I thought that was kind of neat as well. Then we cut back to Lois taking Jonathan to school. Now this here is where we really see for the first time Jonathan is going to school without Jordan. And it really plays out because at school they open up a locker. He opens up a locker and it's a straight shot of his face. And he's sad and he's lost. You can completely tell the look on his face is that he's lost without his brother being there. And I really, really like the chemistry between Jordan and Jonathan. They act like they're real brothers. So I think that's really cool in this. And then we also, we end up seeing Jonathan talk to Sarah. And then her boyfriend and them come up and start really kind of bullying him. They're like, oh, we got a QB, blah, blah, and they're just going on about how they don't need him, and they shove him and stuff, and it's it really starting to play out because you can really see some tension starting to build between a lot of different people. And in the meantime, while this is all happening, Clark and Jordan go to the Fortress of Solitude, where we end up meeting Jor-El. Now, when they first show the Fortress of Solitude, I thought it kind of looked cool, but at the same time, I didn't like it at all. I think the Fortress of Solitude in this doesn't look as good as it did on Supergirl. And I don't see why they wouldn't have kept the Fortress of Solitude from Supergirl, seeing how it was originally Superman's to begin with. So that whole thing there kind of really was, I was like, was this completely separate from everything? And I believe this is supposed to be just a separate entity from the CW universe, even though it takes place in the CW universe. So it's kind of weird. I didn't really like the Fortress of Solitude as much. Again, though, I have mixed feelings about it. I did think it looked kind of cool at first, but then when they finally went in through the cave mouth, I was just like, really? I was like, that's it? I was like, that, So, I mean, maybe they'll change it later on. Maybe they won't, though. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't have kept the original Fortress of Solitude from Supergirl. That doesn't make any sense. And then, they discover, as they're doing tests, and even before that, like, they put a crystal in and they end up getting a little bit of the backstory of Krypton, of how like the natural resources were dwindling up, and they started fighting over everything, and then it accelerated the planet's destruction. So I thought that was kind of cool because you see Jordan actually learn a little bit about his father's home planet, and then they start doing some tests, and they make a discovery about his powers, and you really see how that plays out later on in the episode. And this is kind of where things start getting more intense. You know, the tensions between everybody really start to come together in this. We end up seeing Clark and Jordan come home, and Jonathan comes down the stairs and starts blaming Jordan for what's happening at school, with not getting the playbook at first, you know, with the football team, you know, bullying him, you know, being mean to him and stuff. All because he kissed one of the football players' girlfriends, you know, and it's all his fault. So we really get to see that. And then we see Lois going to a town hall meeting, and she confronts her boss, Morgan Edge, there. And we really start to see the tension between that going on. And that plays out at the end of the episode as well. So we see like a lot of tension going on, especially with Kyle Cushing. Kyle Cushing is all for Morgan Edge coming in and helping out the community and getting people jobs, which, you know, is not a bad thing. But, you know, when Lana invites Lois and Clark and all them to their barbecue, we really see this whole tension play out between Lois and Kyle. And Kyle did some research like Lois did, and he's like, oh, you know, having money in your pocket is better than not having money in your pocket. And she's like, you don't think people should have make a livable wage? And, you know, we really see this whole thing going on, and Morgan Edge does something to Lois in this episode that really makes her have to make a decision. So I really like that. And this episode ends with, I think, kind of two endings. We see General Lane looking at like a Superman symbol, and he's kind of got like a real worried look on his face. And then we cut to Captain Luthor having a flashback about his past. So this is where we really get to see his origin story come in. So I thought that was pretty good. The effects in this were good. I mean, you know, we get to see Superman fly around. We get to see some of the capabilities of Lex's suit in this episode as well, and we see the ship explodes in this. So I thought the special effects in this were pretty good. You know, they didn't look really that bad at all. The Fortress of Solitude, on the other hand, again, I have mixed feelings about that. I like the Supergirl one better, although I am partial to the Christopher Reeve 1980s Fortress of Solitude myself. But, you know, we'll see if it maybe improves or not. The acting in this, I thought, was really, really well done. Jordan and Jonathan really have a real good dynamic between them, a good chemistry. They act like they're real brothers. So I thought that was very good. And, of course, Clark and Lois have been doing this for a couple of years now, so their chemistry is fantastic. But we kind of really get to see a little bit more about Lois's tenacity in this, which is what I really liked, because she goes after her boss. And it's good, because he does something, again, to her that she really has to make a decision. So this episode has a few big reveals in it, and they play out towards the end of the episode as well. We see tensions rise between, like, everybody. Kyle and Lois and Morgan. Even the kids are, starting to have tension between them and to their parents as well. And pretty much by the end, Lois has to really make a decision about what she really wants to do and stuff. So that all plays out at the end of this episode. I would give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. This was another good episode. Let's see how long, the CW can keep this up. Hopefully for the whole season, but who knows? If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe, as I'll be doing more content each week. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Take care for now, everybody.